失礼するよ。
死ぬまで殺すだけだ。
This is for all those geeks and gamers out there who find themselves clueless as to how to read Japanese names or titles. Believe it or not, you too can learn Japanese and nonchalantly enlighten others on their ignorance. Unlike the dork who everyone wishes would just dial it down a bit, you'll do it with more tact. In this video, I will introduce 3 necessarily understood concepts, and by the end, you should be capable of reading the names of people, places, and titles. If you intend to learn Japanese, or are even mildly curious as to how it works, there is really only one place to start.
私一人で十分だ。
Consider for a moment the Japanese company names you know. Yamaha, for instance. The A sound in Japanese is ah. That's why it's Yamaha. Notice that the vowel sound is always the same. How about another name like Suzuki? The U sound in Japanese is U. Su-zu-ki. The foundation of the Japanese language is built on their vowels. Whether they are short or long, there are no digraphs, diphthongs, or convoluted combinations. Save for the vowels and a singular consonant, all the syllables in Japanese are pairings of 1 or 2 consonants with a vowel. For all intents and purposes, when you see a word written in English, you read it in 1, 2, or 3-letter syllables. One more thing I need to mention is that Japanese contains gemination, or the doubling of consonants. With all that said, now you have a base for the technique. The only trick is identifying the syllables and pronouncing them properly. Before you cringe at the thought of learning something, know this. Japanese only contains roughly 100 syllables, combining the 5 vowels and a dozen or so consonants, whereas English contains the possibility of thousands.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
手加減はせんぞ。
The Japanese writing system comprises kanji, katakana, hiragana, and romaji, or the romanized alphabet, to visually represent Japanese. This is not as complicated as it sounds, it just means that there are multiple ways to represent the same syllable. Hiragana is fundamental to written Japanese, and along with katakana are constituents of kanji that are derived mostly from
China.
Romaji is primarily meant for non-Japanese or for keyboard input. At the outset, all you need are some examples of syllables and perhaps Google a Romaji chart for reference. The vowel sounds are as follows. A, I, U, E, O. A is represented by A. Some syllables are ka, ga, ma. I is represented by I. Ki, shi, ji. U is represented by U. Ku, su, tsu. E is represented by I. Ke, se, te. O is represented by O, ko, so, to. As I mentioned earlier, the single consonant syllable is and is represented by N. Now it should be clear to imagine why it's pronounced manga, ma-ng-ga. It should go without saying that is a Japanese word. I only say this because it's not up for debate as to how you pronounce it. Now, if the word is not native to Japanese, is it then up for debate?
I'm very highly educated. I know words, I have the best words, but there's no better word than stupid.
Many languages adopt foreign words and may or may not modify them. Japanese utilizes many borrowed words from many different languages. They are represented using the katakana writing system mentioned earlier. Quite often, they are rather long words. Easy example of this is Poketto Monster. And as most of these words are shortened for convenience, it became Pokemon. Despite being an international title and having the acute accent mark over the E, most anyone I've ever heard speak about Pokemon says Pokemon. Why is that? It clearly comes from the word pocket, and I don't say poquit. Furthering this point, let's look at anime versus anime. Once more, a borrowed word, and that word is animation. First, remember that A vowel sound? Ah. Second, it's obvious to see how it was shortened to anime. Lastly, I will present a particularly confounding example. In my experience, the most mispronounced word isn't Pokemon, manga, or even anime. It is in fact karaoke. Notice that I said karaoke and not karaoke. Its original spelling is kara orchestra. The first syllable is actually a kanji, meaning sky. empty, void. And in this case, representing the empty meaning is read as kara. That is followed by the borrowed word orchestra, or orchestra, written in katakana, shortened to karaoke. I won't go any further into the etymology, but I will say this is a unique case of utilizing kanji and katakana. It's an amalgam of a borrowed word and an ideogram, of which even most Japanese people are unaware of its origin.
美しく完璧に
To wrap this up, personally, when I speak Japanese, I naturally say anime. But when speaking English, I usually say cartoon. Unless you're communicating directly to a Japanese person, it hardly matters how you pronounce words of a language you don't speak, read, or write.
かわいい人ね。
The overall goal of this video is to encourage anyone that is interested in learning about Japan. It is possible with moderate effort for the casually interested up to the unabashed Japanophile. If you have any genuine questions about this video, language, or Japan in general, leave a comment, like, and subscribe.